So this is like session 4. I haven't done a ton this week. Timing was kind of bad there. Good. And Larry's pretty hungry today. It's a little bit later in the day. So I haven't really added any distractions in yet too much, you know. So it's empty, so I'm gonna wait till his head dips and then I'm gonna give him food because I want his head to pretty much be all the way in the bottom. I'm gonna trickle feed here a little bit so he can get in the rhythm that it's gonna come. He's got one small piece in there when he turns around and gets it here. And we're gonna want him to keep his head down, which that's pretty good there. It wasn't all the way on the ground, but he's focused in the bottom. So even though I made a bad presentation early or a bad reward early, it's kind of hard to mess this up if your timing is decent for quite a while. And I'm just using ordinary kibble. I don't know if I said that in the first. While he's here, I'm just gonna move around. I'm gonna trickle feed off the wall. So today I'll just do a little bit of, as soon as his head dipped down, and pretty soon his head will dip. So tapping on here is pretty loud inside there because it's kind of like a speaker. And sometimes that'll happen. He'll lift his head up exactly while you're throwing food and you'll kind of make a mess here. But at the end of the day, I don't really want my dog to know the food is coming from me. He will eventually learn that just by the way that I move in and all of that nonsense. I want him to keep focused and keep his head in the box. That's the goal. And then to be able to use it to outmaneuver distractions and to create a lot of good food drive and a lot of good focus here. You can do this. Some things that you can use this for, which is really good, is, you know, I probably went over some of this in the first, is to teach the dog to be handled. Now, I'm gonna put a whole bunch of food in here to show you some stuff. So there's a whole bunch of food. Watch when I move him. He digs in there harder. He eats more frantically. Okay, he put a lot more power into that eating and he dug in and he put his weight in there. He's using opposition reflex to work harder because he may think I'm gonna steal the food from him or I'm gonna take him away from the food. So, you want the dog to think, hey, you guys are working as a team. You're not stealing from them. It's going to take them a long time. But I want to move them around here. And then I want to start teaching them some distractions and some other pressures because the environment is pressure. Now, if you teach your dog this, it's lightning out, thundering, doing all those noises, and your dog knows to get in there and it's a reflex response. He has to do it in order to eat. The dog is going to do this and the thunder is going to crash and they're going to be like, oh, food's coming. And pretty soon, the thunder won't be a big deal. You know, so there's a dog yipping across the street. I don't know if you can faintly hear that, but you hear the dog barking a little bit across the street. And you know, he popped his head out of there a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I'm working him through it. He's learning how to work through distractions, even the distraction of me talking. Like if your dog's in obedience and you're doing something and you say a word, your dog may pop out or may look to a different direction or whatever. Now you see him thinking here, which is awesome. His little tail's flopping around. He's thinking a little bit. He's looking for food. He's trying to figure out how this game works. But I want his mind to work. And I like to make it kind of go between his ears, which his ears are crazy because if he flexes them the wrong way, they cross. Boy. Now also with this, I'm using this, like I probably stated in the first video, to load my clicker here and to finish off and to make my clicker more powerful than any distraction. Because when I do this here and I put a whole bunch of food, the dopamine box becomes a huge distraction. So to call that dog away makes your clicker stronger. So there's a whole bunch of food in there. Good boy. And then I'm going to turn this over. Oh, it's heavy. And if he leaves my food pouch one more time, that's it. He can clean up here, which he's gonna, but he's left a substantial amount of food in here, which is okay, but he's gonna learn if I leave it, it's gone. So he chose that food on the ground, whether the food here. So then what's gonna happen is he'll have an opportunity at the next time to learn from that and go from there. So now, Larry, we're gonna go outside and we're gonna play some ball. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.